In this lecture I'm going to talk about the structure of body paragraphs, the paragraphs after the introduction and before the conclusion. To remind you, the purpose of the body paragraphs is to support the thesis statement which you introduced in the introduction of your essay. Each body paragraph should discuss one main topic or idea which helps support the thesis statement. In terms of structure, body paragraphs have up to 3 parts: an opening, a body, and sometimes also a concluding sentence. The opening sentence can include 2 types of sentences. There can be a topic frame, which is optional, which contains background or context for the paragraph. This is similar to how a picture frame provides a context for the picture. Then secondly, there needs to be a topic sentence, telling us the particular topic of the paragraph. After these opening sentences, there are supporting sentences, which explore this topic in more detail, providing supporting evidence, examples or facts. And finally, there can be a concluding sentence, though this is optional. Let's start by looking at 3 different ways to begin a body paragraph. Number 1. This paragraph here contains 2 opening sentences. The sentence in green is the topic frame, giving background information to prepare the reader, and the one in blue is the topic sentence, telling us the topic of this paragraph. The green sentence says, with regard to the frequency of homework tasks, one may wonder whether weekly homework tasks would be sufficient. Then the blue sentence gives us the specific focus of this paragraph. More regular, indeed daily homework, is preferable for 2 reasons. So the blue sentence is telling us what the paragraph is going to claim, and it also indicates the structure of the paragraph. 2 reasons will be given. Let's look at another example. Like the last example, the opening of this paragraph contains some background information and also tells us the topic of the paragraph. But instead of using separate sentences, it does this in one complex sentence. The first clause in green is background information, and the second clause in blue gives the topic of the paragraph. Let's look at a third example of how we can open a paragraph. This example doesn't contain a topic frame. It doesn't contain extra background information. The paragraph begins directly with a simple topic sentence, telling us what the paragraph is about. Regular homework is arguably beneficial for 2 reasons. So we've seen that you can begin a body paragraph by directly stating the topic, like here, or you can precede this with some background information or context, either in a separate sentence or in the first part of the same sentence. As for the structure of the supporting sentences, these provide reasons, support, discussion, explanation, and details to develop the idea introduced in the opening sentences of the paragraph. If the opening sentence says that there are 3 reasons, the body of the paragraph will present those reasons, marking them clearly using expressions like firstly, secondly, and finally. The structure of this body paragraph is there's a reason, an explanation of the reason, then another reason, an example to support this second reason, and then the final third reason is given, followed directly by a concluding sentence. So the structure of the paragraph is topic sentence, stating the topic of the paragraph, the first reason, a sentence explaining the reason, the second reason, then an example to support the second reason, and then the third reason is given, followed by the final concluding remark. There are other ways to structure body paragraphs too, of course, but however you structure the paragraph, it's a good idea to make sure you use connecting expressions to indicate the logical relationship between the sentences. There are some examples of connectives shown here. In the previous example I used firstly, secondly, and finally, but other logical relationships are possible too. For example, to indicate an additional point, you can start the sentence with also or in addition. To indicate a change in direction, expressions like however and nevertheless can be used. You can indicate a consequence with therefore or as such, or a restatement of your point using in other words or that is. Now, what about the concluding sentence? Paragraphs sometimes just end directly without a concluding sentence, for example simply giving the last reason, but sometimes a concluding remark is helpful. If a concluding sentence is used, then it's normally more general than the supporting sentences. In this example, we can see that after giving 3 specific reasons for learning English, the last sentence provides a general remark that relates to all of the reasons discussed. It relates to everything in the paragraph, and it gives a final comment on the reasons in relation to learners of English.